Perhaps I could have mentioned this in my previous video on Doctor Who, but then again, maybe this deserves a separate video. And of course, this is not exactly breaking news. That said, this is something I've been wondering, and it's been touched on by others. There's been a lot of speculation about why exactly there is this second Rose person. Is it the same character, but played by a different actor, or is there some other familial relationship? So I may as well touch on it. Doctor Who and Rose. Why are there two Roses? What purpose does having two Roses serve? What is the point of doing that? Now, I'd suggest that there's a very good reason why it's not a common thing to have characters going by the same name, featuring in the same series or story. The reason is confusion. The risk of confusing the reader, or in Doctor Who's case, the viewer. I mean, why would any writer want to risk doing that? It wouldn't make sense. Unless, that is, it was entirely intentional, taking an already used name, which was held by a prominent character, and applying it to another prominent character. Why would any writer do that? Why would Russell T Davies make that name choice? No more names available? Nope. That can't be it. So he clearly made a decision to add another character named Rose to the Doctor Who roster. And so soon after Billie Piper's Rose. This has to be because he has some ulterior motive for doing so. An agenda. Yep, there's been a fair few fan theories going around. And according to one article, there's a suggestion that the use of the name of Rose is meant to be symbolic of a new beginning, a new era. Well, after reading that article, I'm sorry, but that reasoning sounds very, very flimsy to me. Very weak. Except in one regard. The symbolism aspect. I mentioned in a previous video, and this is based on his own words, that Russell T Davies is looking for a replacement audience. He doesn't like much or most of Doctor Who's traditional fans and wants to replace them. Replace them with a bunch of new viewers whose only interest in the show would be its woke content and representation. And that would mean catering solely for the sliver of the population that he would be happy to hang out with. This new Rose character, played by Yasmin Finney, is the symbol of his desired change for the show. This, Rose number 2, is his signpost. A replacement Rose to represent the replacement audience he craves. He's taken the name of Billie Piper's character and applied it to his new woke emblem, his signpost, in the form of his new Rose. Rose Noble, Donna's daughter. I read in an interview where the actor Yasmin Finney, who plays this new replacement Rose, said, and these are not my use of these pronouns. It's from the article, which says her role in Doctor Who would change the world, saying she was happy to be the representation on a show that means a lot to so many. She felt she was put on this earth to make a change. I'm still gagged that I'm a person that gets to be the first positive representation of trans people in the UK media. And the way that I get through it all is just knowing that there's a deeper meaning, and I was put on this earth to make a change. I'm hoping that everything I do with the representation that I'm giving people, they can see themselves represented, and they can see a positive side being a queer person. End quote. Because of course that's what matters most above anything else. Representation? Being seen? Mustn't forget that. So based on that quote, what Russell T Davies has here is someone of like mind. A kindred spirit. Someone who agrees entirely with his message. His agenda. Rose Noble is the symbol of what Russell T Davies is aiming for. Rose number 2 replaces Rose number 1. Rose number 2 is all new, and is most definitely more representative. Rose number 1 is old and outdated, and therefore had to be replaced with the all-new shiny woke model. A model which better represents the world around him as he sees it. So why not just do the normal thing and just give this character a new name? Well, where's the message in that? That would be such a wasted opportunity. And he's an activist. So he has to activist? So it's out with the old and in with the new. Out with that old bigoted audience that doesn't want political messages shoved down their throats when they just want to be entertained and thrilled, and in with the new woke blue-haired multi-gendered pronouns brigade, for whom their politics is everything. Everyone must take part in their wokeness or else. So because I started watching Doctor Who with the arrival of Christopher Eccleston, I suppose that makes me particularly sensitive to the presence of another character going by the same name. And I have to say, the new Rose, Rose 2, Although not the Doctor's companion as Rose 1 was, ain't as good as Rose 1 anyway. And I have to compare them because they've got the same name. That comparison is hard to avoid. And I do believe that the second Rose is meant to, in the viewer's minds, replace the original and therefore largely eclipse much of the memory of the former and diminish her, so that the show can more easily turn a new page and continue doing things like rewriting canon and discarding the original audience in order to steer the show into its new, woke direction. Of course, the old audience consists of just a bunch of bigots that need to be gotten rid of. They need to be replaced and forgotten about. And that is what the new Rose symbolizes. New Rose. A replacement of the old, a rewriting of canon, in an attempt to get that brand new shiny replacement woke audience. Rose version 1 was better though.